Welcome to this video. Here we're going to cover installing Google Analytics so you can track and analyze your website traffic. Now, it's not a bad idea to install both GA4 and Universal Analytics and run them in parallel, especially if you're used to Universal Analytics. Plus, you should surely keep your existing version of Universal Analytics as Google continues to develop and update GA4. This will give you some time to get used to the new solution. We don't have a timeline as to when Google will sunset Universal Analytics, but their resources for developing new analytics features are focused on GA4. So let's set this up. First, log into Google and go to analytics.google.com or search for Google Analytics and it should appear as the first result. If you don't have an account already, this is the landing page that you'll see. So click on Start Measuring and begin to create your account. If you already have access to a GA account, go to Admin and click on Create Account. We're brought to the same account creation screen. So when you create your account, keep in mind that your GA account could potentially encompass multiple web properties. So for example, your account name could be your organization, and within your organization's account, you could create GA properties for your website, a subdomain, a mobile app, or so on and so forth. So we'll give this a name and take a look at the settings to figure out which one you want to enable. I'm going to check off the first one because I want the enhanced demographics and interest reporting. We'll click Next and set up our first GA4 property. Give the property a name and set the correct time zone, and then you're going to click on Show Advanced Options. Now this is where we'll enable the Universal Analytics property. Slide this toggle over to the right so that it turns blue. Select your HTTP prefix and input your website URL. Make sure that both of these options are selected because we want a GA4 property and a Universal Analytics property. And then we want this enhanced measurement for a GA4 property enabled because that'll automatically set up tracking such as link clicks and embedded videos as well as a few other events. Click on Next and you can choose to input this business information, but it's optional. But we'll click on Create and it'll bring us to the terms of service, which we'll have to accept in order to proceed. Instead of creating a reporting view like you did with Universal Analytics, we're brought to this screen with web stream details. We have the URL, the name, and measurement ID at the top. Go to the next section with tagging instructions. To add the analytics tag directly to your site, click on Global Site Tag. Copy the code that appears and go to your HTML. Find the opening head tag and paste the code that you copied. Now, since we elected to create both a GA4 property and a UA property, Google should have created a connected tag for this GA4 property. And that's what we'll see here. So if we click on the connected site tags, we see this UA tracking ID here. So what we can do, just to make sure, is copy this UA tracking ID and just check that against the tracking ID created here. So yep, that matches there. And now what we can do is test our tracking. So if we go to load our website, we can make sure the tags have fired and then go back to the real-time reports. So first we'll check the GA4 property. It hasn't loaded yet. I think sometimes you might have to reload the page to get the event to show up, and there it is. Yep, 0 minutes ago. Okay, now we'll check the UA property, and that should give us a page view in the real-time report, and there it is. So check and check. We have the tracking set up and we're good to go. So that's how you install both a new GA4 property and a new UA property directly on your website in the HTML of your website. So leave a comment if you're planning to install GA4, or if you've installed GA4, what your experience has been with the setup. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.